Imagine your club actually spending some money this transfer window. Couldn't be Chelsea, but welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my first video on the summer transfer window. We're going to be talking about all the news surrounding Chelsea Football Club of like maybe the last day or 2 days. I'm not really sure how long these stories have gone on, but we are just going to get straight into it. And our first story is the departure of Olivier Giroud, a cult hero in every sense of the word. I am absolutely gutted that he is leaving because he has been so pivotal for us. And all the time that he's been here, he has been so instrumental, has won us some very important games, some monumental performances from him. Like, I will never forget his performance in that clutch win against Wolves that secured us top 4, his big goal against Atletico Madrid in the UCL campaign, and overall he has just been a fantastic servant to the club. His contribution to everything this club has achieved as of recent years, including the Champions League, which was the long-awaited trophy that we've all been waiting for 9 years, and he's finally helped us win it. And he leaves a Champions League hero for Chelsea, and that is not something he could have said when he left with Arsenal. But regardless, he is leaving a fantastic player, and you know, AC Milan are very lucky to have him for literally just 1.7 million pounds. I think that is an absolute steal. He's still got some years in him left, hopefully, and I just pray for his success because he really has deserved our praise. He really has done everything he could for the club, and thank you, Olivier Giroud, for everything. Now, our second story, which is literally like as a direct consequence of Giroud leaving, is we need to buy some actual strikers now because we are losing some very important players for the next season. And yeah, if we're not gonna blow the budget on Haaland, then who exactly are we gonna buy? But at least there has been some news of us getting maybe a little bit closer to Haaland, but maybe not really, because Borussia Dortmund have basically just put like a threshold, like the limit of what they will sell Haaland for, which is basically, I think, 135 million pounds. And yeah, that's actually quite a lot, and I'm not really sure if Chelsea are gonna blow the budget on that. He would literally be our like most paid signing for by a long shot. We literally paid 80 million or around 70 million. I'm not really too sure on the specifics, but it's around that range for Havertz. We would literally blow the budget in order to get Haaland. So I'm not sure if Chelsea are going to go through with this. At least Borussia Dortmund have made their minds on how they're going to be willing to sell Haaland this season, but it's under very specific circumstances and very daunting circumstances. Chelsea are really going to have to get the bank out, call up Roman Abramovich, and he's really going to have to just spend on Haaland if we want to get some actual support for our striker position and our attack in general. And yeah, there's only time will tell when he actually, or whenever Chelsea actually get closer to this deal, but that is some big news in my opinion, because that just shows how much we actually have to pay for him and how much he's actually valued in the market. And yeah, we're just gonna go on to our third story, which is Chelsea going for Kamavinga. I think that's how you say his name. But he is a midfielder, and he would really help us. I'm guessing the whole reason we want to get him in the first place is we need some midfielders. After we have just loaned out Billy Gilmour to Norwich City, we are actually in desperate need for some midfielders, and not like wingers like Pulisic and Hudson-Odoi and Ziyech, who we know we're absolutely stacked in, but we maybe need a defensive mid or two in order for us to actually get everything like set. Because remember when Conte was injured and we were just panicking on who's gonna play in the pivot now, and sometimes Kovacic was injured and be like, oh great, now we need to put Gilmour in, who even though he's a good player, he was a little bit of inexperienced and didn't really get that much playing time. So that is the concern now, that Chelsea need to actually get some proper defensive midfielders in order to help out and strengthen our depth. Otherwise we're really gonna have to be putting people out of position because we don't have enough people to play in those positions, like as a defensive midfielder. So hopefully things go well with that. Caballero also is leaving the club. He has announced that he was leaving the club even before we won the Champions League, but he has officially made his announcement, his departure, like public. And there's also the speculation that Kepa Arrizabalaga might be loaned out of Chelsea. So now that got me thinking, if we only have Mendy in goal, who the hell is actually going to help our team, you know, with goalkeepers? Who are we going to rely on now? And there has been some talks of us looking at the Czech Republic's goalkeeper, who, you know, the Czech Republic have gotten to the quarterfinals. So basically, anyone who progressed far into the competition was obviously going to get some highlight on them. But it doesn't look like Werder Bremen. I'm butchering these names, but that's the keeper. That's the team he plays for. It doesn't really seem like they want to give him away. So yeah, that kind of puts us in a pickle on our goalkeeper positions, because if we only have one person, then that's obviously not a good sign at all. So yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that. But we also go on to the next story. Declan Rice is valued at 80 million, as West Ham said it. And also considering the fact that we're looking for defensive midfielders, we are in desperate need of a defensive midfielder, as I said before. But the fact that Declan Rice is a value at 80 million, and it doesn't really seem like West Ham will go below that price, is very worrying, because it actually seems like the Chelsea board do want Declan Rice. It's kind of split on the fan base, but for 80 million, he would literally be on the same value as Havertz. And in my opinion, I wouldn't want to pay 80 million, or want us to pay, because not my money, want us to pay 80 million for a defensive midfielder. Remember back in the other transfer window, last year's transfer window, when Chelsea ended up paying 50 million for Ben Chilwell, and you know how much that infuriated people? Declan Rice would probably become our most expensive signing ever, and then yeah, you already know that many fans are not going to be happy about that at all. I don't know what's up with our fan base, with us, you know, trying to pay like a lot for players, but in this circumstance I agree with them, because it is 80 million, and if you're asking me, 80 million for Declan Rice is not a good bargain at all. So if we can somehow maybe lower the price to 50 million or 40 million, I think that would be the better option for us. But 80 million, no. There's also news that Emerson might leave for Napoli this summer, and considering how good he has been in the Euros, that would honestly be a shot in the foot for us, because he is, at least in my opinion, he is a quality player, as much as people would like to disagree with me. But I think he's honestly just a really good left back, like a second option. And you know, I honestly think he's better than Marcos Alonso, even though Marcos Alonso has been very clutch for us. There is discrepancies and there is some errors that he makes whenever it comes to defending, but I think Emerson, just like Chilwell, is pretty well rounded. He is very good at defending. He is very good at attacking as well. He can definitely push himself forward. And if we were to lose Emerson, and even though, you know, many people haven't seen him play for Chelsea in a long time, I don't think he's played since the win against Atletico Madrid where he actually scored, I think losing him would be very bad from us, because I feel like we still definitely need to make sure we don't lose any, you know, don't lose these certain players who we think are washed up in a sense, but you know, they still have potential. And as we've been seeing from Emerson this season, not this season but in the Euros, he has actually still got some football left to show the Chelsea fan base. So I really hope that he does not leave. And to end it off, the Blues begin their preseason. Thomas Tuchel is reunited with the Chelsea team, which is only comprised of 3 players: Angerin, Tammy, and Cho. So because everyone else is still in international stuff, holiday, whatever the thing might be, they are still gone. And yeah, those 3 people are just left to be with Thomas Tuchel, which is honestly not a bad thing if you think about it, because I think he is a top quality man as much as he is a manager. So that is just going to end the news. But if I were to make an overall statement of the things right now, there is a lot of stuff that the Chelsea board has to do, a lot of transfers. You know, as everyone has been saying, where are the transfers? And I get the issue, or no, I don't get the issue. I get the idea that patience is key, but there is also other teams who are getting very big signings like Sancho and who else? I can't name anything else, but you know, you get what I'm saying. We need to start spending. We need to actually compete with these other teams in terms of the transfer window. We've already had an excellent transfer window last season, but if we want to keep our status as the champions of Europe, or just, you know, be a competitive force for next season, we really should be looking to buy some players in the departments where we're lacking. Doesn't mean if we don't buy anyone, we're gonna, you know, lose next season and lose everything. But, you know, I think it'd be nice to actually get someone who we know is class. So I'm really hoping that we get Haaland here. But that is just going to end the news for today. I have been your local blue. Make sure to like, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for joining me. Peace.